Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for a long overdue video. This is the entirety of battle number 7 from my first 10 for the T54E1, which I actually recorded all the way back on the 25th of September of 2018. And it ended up being such a good battle that I decided I would turn the whole thing into a video for you guys, and then it's just been pushed to the back burner for so long I just haven't been able to get to it, so here it is finally. So for a little background, if you didn't see the T54E1 first 10, there will be a link to it in the description, and once this video goes public, I'll put it up in a pinned comment as well. So, in the previous battle, a little bit of background, I had the machine gun bug where your machine guns look and sound like they're going off to everybody else except you, so you don't know that they're doing that, and nobody from the team said anything, so Blueberry here right next to me, who's my random squad mate this battle, was in that battle and had said something about my machine guns going off. So when I explained to them at the end of that battle, that was why. Then when I saw him in this battle, I asked, yeah, you want any machine guns this time? So that's where that came from. So anyway, we're pushing our way up into the 8 point as normal on this map. The enemy team starts capping it, so it's time to move on in. And let's see what we can find up here. Also, before we get into the action, this battle and its length should hopefully help you understand why I don't show you all of the battle after I die in the featured vehicle in a first 10. So something obviously firing up there to the right, but our M68-2 has got the right side covered, so I'm going to point over to the left. And what do I see? Well, it's a T55E1, and somehow he bounced off me, and somehow I got a heat round right through the side of him and detonated his ammo in one shot. I mean, you can see where and how it went through there, but I was lucky that he wasn't pointed directly at me, because it probably would not have got him. So that's one kill. We've got a BMP-2 engaging an XM-1 off to my front left there that you can hear. And defeating him. And there's an IS-7. My teammate's got him engaged frontally. I'm going to move around and flank him and hit him from the side as fast as I can before he takes out my teammate frontally over there. So while he's focused on my teammate, we'll get a good shot into his hull here, and it doesn't do anything. So we'll reload with APHE, which should finish him off, and he got killed right as I fired. Well, right before I fired, but I still had the trigger button pulled down and I didn't let go of it fast enough. So we're now capping A, except we're not capping A. We're losing A again, which means somebody's coming. Aha! A shadow appears. It's a hull broken BMP-2. Thank goodness. So there's a couple kills. Put some artillery on the road to hopefully pick off some of their reinforcements coming in.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
And we finish our cap on A, and there's another BMP-2 coming up close, obviously. You can hear it firing. I'm reloading my ammo here a little bit, and just sitting tight, holding the A point. Just lost my teammate to the BMP-2, my squad mate, so I've got to try and react to that. And as I'm heading over here to try and figure out where it is and set a little ambush for it, the enemy team is taking the B point and the C point from us. I spent all of my time in the T54E1. Don't know how he missed me there. No idea how he missed me with that missile. I spent all my time in the T54E1 holding and fighting at A here in this battle. Got my track repaired, pushed up to go after him, and of course this is an M48 chassis, which means it is not fast whatsoever. And I'm trying to chase a BMP-2 around a corner, so of course it's much faster than I am. And I don't have a stabilized gun, so I couldn't get a shot at him before he got behind the building. But for whatever reason, he drove right out into the open and gave me a shot at him there, which he really didn't have to do. He could have played hide and seek with me all day behind that building and I wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. And then a second T55E1 comes through, and I am not sure why he hurried around the corner like that either, but thankfully I was able to pick him off with a follow-up shot as well. He did break my track again, so I had to wait for that to repair, and watch where his burning corpse smoke is and how it's going to obscure the corner of the building to my right there. Just where all that black smoke is. Guess what's hiding behind there? Yep, the IS-7 came back in a backup IS-7. But, oh well. That means they're taking the A point again. So, 5 minutes exactly, 4 kills, 1 assist, and 1 capture in the T54E1. That's where the battle ends for the first 10. And here's the rest of the battle. And you'll see eventually why I chose to make this into a video. Not a bad start, by any means, in the T54E1. Of course, it's a spaded premium vehicle, but... So I'm coming back in my Sky Whale here to drop a couple of large bombs on that IS-7 and hopefully take him out of the battle altogether. Now remember, this was from the 25th of September 2018, so the new spawn point rules were not in effect yet. So if I knocked out a guy who had driven 2 heavies, he's probably out of the battle. And here comes some tracer fire from a ZSU-23-4. It hits my tail and destroys my elevators, so my airplane is no longer in control. I tried dropping my bombs on that ZSU-57, but by the time I could even see the ZSU-57, my plane was already in such a nose-up attitude that those bombs were going to fly miles past and never hit anything good. So unfortunately, the Sky Whale was a bit of a waste. But I did have my good old trusty, slow as snails, T54E1, so I came back in that. On the plus side, it does have APF SDS, so it's pretty capable of dealing with IS-7s as long as you get the right shot at one. And they've taken the A point, the B point. They had the C point, we're taking the C point back, but the story of this battle was the back and forth on the flags. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Just all battle long, it was, we can't hold a cap. We can't hold a cap. We did take them back a bunch. And obviously the enemy team ended up not being able to hold them either, but... still, we would take a cap and then everybody would go running away from it and die somewhere else. So I'm trying to get a scout at whatever's up at B, holding B, so I can hopefully clear the way for our warrior, who got killed before I could spot anything. There's gunfire coming from the ZSU-23-4, and then obviously the ZSU-57. Now by the time I could get my gun up and stabilized on him, he drove through right there. And there was so much smoke from his gunfire that I couldn't actually see the top of his turret where I had a shot at him there. So, creep and crawl forward in the T54E1. I mean, just because the thing is called T95 doesn't mean it has to drive like a T95. There he is, still blasting away, letting me know where he is. Come up to a stop here. And there we go. Finally got a good shot at him. Or her. Judging by the name. And now I'm suspecting that the IS-7 is going to be around this corner right here. And sure enough, there he is. So we'll just break his track real quick. Give me time to reload. And it doesn't break his track. So, yeah. You can tell how this is going to go with how slow the loader is in the T95E1. 90mm shells, but the tank is so little that you can't load them fast. So I chose the Ontos because it can scout things and because it wasn't spaded as compared to my M103. And I want to come back and get some shots into and or scout the IS-7. I can actually take out the IS-7 with the heat rounds in this thing. So that was my thought process in not coming back in the M103. Also, you get 6 shots before you have to reload as compared to the M103. That's going to take a little longer. Now, Yakitori took out the IS-7 over there at A, so that's good. So now we can push back into A and take it back again. We kind of need to hurry because they hold all 3 caps. Now we're taking A, but speed is somewhat of the essence here to get a cap or 2 back from the enemy, especially before they push all the way across the river and get right into our spawns, and then this battle is over. So we have stopped capping the A point, so something is in the A point with our XM803. So I'm going to try and come up and push in and see. Now this ZSU-37 here, I was obviously sure it was dead, but I shot it just to try and mark it into smoke. To make it smoke like a wreck again so nobody would drive up and think it was enemy alive, but it didn't, so I kept on pushing past it. So we're taking A, so whatever it was left A, so I'm trying to figure out where it went over here, and right as I come around this corner here, oh, that's what I see. No way I have time to get it past it. I was trying to get my binoculars on it to scout it, but that was that. E-Lovegoat and I killed each other back and forth a whole bunch of times this battle. So now, what do I do? Do I come back in the T54E1 backup? Or my M163. I can hear a jet flying overhead, and the M163 can deal with the ZSU-23 for sure. So I'll come back in the M163 because it also is not spaded, and the T95E1, while is also an unspaded vehicle, I've already driven it once, and I'd like to get some research in towards my M163. So, they are taking A away from us again, even though we've got two guys there. But we are at least taking B, so we've evened out the ticket bleed, sort of. Or at least we will in a second when we finish B. There we go. Ticket bleed canceled. We're about 2-to-1 not in our favor as far as tickets go. And the ZSU-23-4 from E-Lovegoat is obviously still in the A point, or something else is. Presumably it's him and the ZSU-23-4 hiding behind a building and our guy's not moving in to chase him down. Nice kill for Blueberry there on a T10M over at B. Very, very good. Very important to take out, especially because we only had an SPAA holding the B point. There we go. The Chieftain found the ZSU-23-4 and took him out, and we're taking the A point back. Good work on their team. So we finished the capture at A again, and I'm heading over towards B as we've only got the single SPA over there holding things down. An AMX-30 DCA just took out our M60A1 that was up in the lower part of the hills before B, so I'm expecting he's still around there somewhere, and that's what I'm trying to go chase down. Plus, since we've got two guys holding the A point, I can move over and assist our SPAA at B, who's otherwise by himself. We are now taking the C point as well, so the back and forth at the caps continues. See an enemy get marked up here just outside of B. You can see his radar dish spinning. Line up to get some shots at him. As soon as I fire, boom, get hit in my gunner and lose my gunner. And I'm stuck behind a tree, which was momentarily very terrifying. I've lost my teammate SPAA at the B point due to that AMX-30 DCA that's over there at B. But thankfully my driver was okay and I was able to get down behind some cover in the little river here and push in on B and stop them from taking it. Not entirely sure what hit me there, except something camping back on the hill by their eastern spawn, which is a usual predictable place for people to be camping. Just happy that somehow they only killed my gunner and didn't hull break me. So we've got missiles being fired in on our teammates here at, or I mean on the enemy there at B with me. And an Object 120 and an Object 906 take out a pair of teammates, one at A and one over at C. So we've got enemy all over the map. I've moved into B and started decapping it. And I'm in a pretty decently covered spot here, not great by any means, but at least semi-recessed, semi-protected, and now the enemy has obviously moved back into B because I was able to run it down to 0 tickets but not actually capture it. You can hear the AMX-30 DCA blasting away over there behind that great big rock. So I'm backing up into a place where I'm protected from whatever I believe shot me from the hills above to the north of A, and watching out for that AMX-30 and the Object 906 that is what I'm 99% sure is over capturing the C point now. So we're taking the A point, they're taking the C point, and we've got the B point deadlocked in a stalemate right now. I know about where this AMX-30 is from shooting, and I can tell he's right behind that rock on the minimap, and I'm just waiting for my artillery to reload so I can punch it off at him and hopefully take him out. And he's left the point, apparently. So I'm getting the cap. The 906 is confirmed to be on C by a teammate that can see him. I get my artillery back and fire it at him.
Enemy forces have captured
And the enemy team captures A. Even though we have an XM803 right at the point.
Attack the A point.
So we've got an 84 making a run in on the AMX-30 DCA, but unfortunately he didn't get him, and as soon as he turned belly away to target, he was pretty much toast, unfortunately. He made a pretty good rocket run, and I got a hit with my artillery on the AMX-30 DCA, which lit it up. And in a moment, Blueberry will be able to see him from where he is at the intersection of the river there. So we really need our teammate at A to move in and actually start capping it. And I should push in and go after the AMX-30 DCA, but he finally does get taken out, and now I'm capturing the B point, and my patience is rewarded as I was sitting there holding and holding and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for a teammate to knock him out so I could capture the point. So I'm a little too vulnerable to be too aggressive here. And we've now lost the A point again to an IS-7.
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
We lost the C point, even though we've got a teammate right on top of it, but he is moving back in and he starts taking it back for us.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
So it's a little boring, but it's... Tactically, I had to be really patient with my movements and my motions here. Great work by the M551 taking out the 906 over at C, thus ending the threat for now on the west side of the map. I'm holding the B point, watching for enemy air coming in. And I know for sure there's an IS-7 over at A, so really what we're trying to do now is just hold here and stop them from taking the B point or the C point back from us and just trying to bleed tickets back down. So I'm expecting Goat and his IS-7 to push in on our spawn because that's what people do. So that's where I put my artillery.
Attack the enemy.
Also, that provides a little bit of a smokescreen for my teammates who are moving into A, hopefully, to get to some cover behind the building. Now this Su-6 very, very nicely came in a pretty easy, even attack run until I started lighting him up. Managed to chase him off his attack run a little bit and then followed him up with some tracers chasing him down, and finally got a good contact in on him and shot him down for my 6th kill of the battle. We've now got ticket bleed going. We're still about a 1-to-2 disadvantage on us, and you can hear an enemy tank right on the other side of the rock from me now. So this is fun. Any guesses as to what it's going to be? Because I already knew what it was as soon as I heard it. That's an IS-7 for sure that had just come from A. Right down the river. Except it's not. It's the Object 120. So thankfully I was able to scoot out of his way and play a little bit of game of Ring Around the Rosie with him here. I can easily take him out if I can get a good shot at him. But he realized that he had one of my teammates actually firing back at him. And while I would love to go shoot him, I would not have a great chance of guaranteed victory there if I went chasing after him. And the last thing I want to do is get killed by a 120 that's sitting inside the cap with our tickets being that low. That probably is a loss for us if I lose to this 120 right here. So right now my job is to just keep him from decapping, even though he marked me and somebody shot artillery at me. There's the 120 taken out. God bless you, Centurion Mark 10 on my team. And I can back away from the point where he was probably marking me. In fact, I'm backing entirely out of the cap, and of course they start capping as soon as I backed away. So whatever had fired artillery is right inside the B point. And there it is, you can see it on the other side of the map. Other side of the point from me, rather. I was able to move back in and stop him from capping. He's at least marked by my teammates that moved in to help me at B. And there we go. Yakitori coming through with a big kill on the IS-7 over at A. And there we see it's an AMX-30 is what's actually capturing... had started capturing B, and they're taking C again. Like I said, it was back and forth the entire time. Got artillery on the AMX-30, while thankfully our teammate in the M551 took out the ZSU-23-4 that was taking C, and he's recapturing that. And then my squad mate Blueberry took out the AMX-30 1972, which allowed us to recapture B. So, like I said in the chat, what a back and forth battle this was, and what a great job by the last guys left over on our team here. Really came through in the clutch, all of them. So I got after them a little in the beginning about not being able to hold a point, but when it really mattered, they did a good job capturing everything. That chieftain gave me a heart attack when he came pulling up. I thought for sure he was going to be something, but... And like I said here in the chat, I was for sure recording the first part of it because it was part of a first 10. And then I thought, well, the way this battle has gone, I might just turn this whole thing into a second video. And I ended up doing so. It just took me almost 2 months to finally get around to actually turning this one into a video and putting it out. But I'm glad I did. And I hope you guys enjoyed this battle as much as I enjoyed it. It was a very pleasing victory to come through. Did lose my squad mate Blueberry there to an IS-7, probably from over on the bridge or up on the hills above A, but thankfully we're holding C and B, and even if they take A back at this point, we probably have enough of a ticket lead that they're still going to bleed out, and we'll be able to hold on to the victory here. Which I already said it ends up being a victory, so you guys know it is. But even at this point, if it wasn't already known that it was going to be a victory, it should be readily apparent that we're going to pull this one off by now anyway. Got a medium marked up here that I can see where it's firing from, and I'm trying to just get some distractions and throw some dirt up in front of it, and there we go. The enemy team is running out of tickets finally. M551 came real close to killing him right there. And there we go. We held on for the victory. Quite a comeback. Great job to all my team that was involved in this battle. Nice to win these close ones and these back and forth ones instead of losing them. And it paid out really well too, of course. As you can see there. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. I was still way early into grinding my Sergeant York, which I have now purchased and not used yet. As soon as I do the IPM1 first 10, I'll get the M247 into battle. But there you see, not a bad scoring line all told at the end of things. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. There's the kill feed. Lots of E-Love Goat featured there. And let me know what you guys thought in the comments. We'll see you all next time for more War Thunder, and hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you all for stopping by and checking this one out. And if you didn't see the original first 10, go watch that too. Thanks, everybody. Take care.